In this video, we're going to compare the Lumix LX10 to the Canon G7xii, coming right up. What's up everybody? Phil with Bull City Pictures here doing a side-by-side review of two cameras that you might consider for vlogging. Panasonic Lumix LX10 and the Canon G7xii Mach 2. Got both cameras set at f11 right now. They're shooting 60p video, 1080 60p. That's as high as the Canon goes. The Lumix actually will do 4K. So there are a few differences between these cameras. One is that the Lumix will do 4K video. It also has an aperture of f1.4 versus f1.8 on the Canon. The Canon has a built-in neutral density filter, or ND filter, which is basically sunglasses for your camera. So if it's really, really bright out, instead of setting the aperture like I have it now to f11, you might be able to set it to f8 and turn the ND filter on. So this is going to be a vlog style review / comparison. Again, the cameras have the same settings, f11 on the aperture, and the shutter speed is set to 1/125th, and we're shooting at 60p video. Stabilization is on. Both cameras have stabilization. I do have the stabilization on. As I walk around, you'll see that. It looks like the Canon's exposure is a little different. It seems like it's a little darker with the same settings as I try to navigate through the trees. I'm going to show you some zoom tests here. They both have 24mm equivalent on the wide end, and then the Canon goes in a little bit closer, more like up to 100, where the Lumix is more like 70. So I'm going to set up, I'm going to do some zoom shots. We're going to zoom in on the bird feeder so you can see the differences between the zooms, and then we'll talk a little bit more about these two cameras. So here's the Canon zooming in. It basically is the equivalent of a 4x or 4.2x zoom. Now I'll zoom in with the Panasonic just so you can see. And you can see that you definitely get closer with the Canon, so it does have an edge in zoom. I'm going to zoom back out and show you actually the equivalent focal range on the Lumix is 30mm, not 24. And there we have both zoomed out. These are, we're using the onboard mic. Both have the same windscreen built into them, so it's a little bit windy, but you shouldn't hear any wind. We are using the same microphones. We've moved inside to do some low light testing. Both cameras are set to auto white balance. The aperture on the Lumix is f1.4, which is as high as it goes, or as large as it goes. f1.8 on the Canon. They're both set to ISO 800. So we're going to kind of go into a little dark corner here, and you can see that the Canon does look a little underexposed. Again, that's the difference between an f1.4 aperture and an f1.8 aperture. I'll zoom in here, check the autofocus while we're in a dark place. Both of them seem to be doing pretty well. You can check out the colors. I do tend to like the colors that Canon produces out of the camera a little more than Panasonic. I just like their color science. I think that's just a personal preference. I'll give you a few more seconds here of low light. Again, we're using the onboard microphones for both. No, this audio will not be edited and the video will not be edited. Just wanted to give you an idea on what these cameras can do side by side. And sorry, I can't really find one point to focus. I know that might be distracting. It looks like I'm kind of looking around. And I am, but with two cameras it's a little hard to just focus on one, so I apologize for that. But here they are, side by side. Again, everything is set to, well, auto white balance is set. The same shutter speed, 1/125th, f1.4 on the Lumix, f1.8 on the G7X. They both do have the aperture settings that you can change on the front of the camera, which is very convenient. Makes it easier for you to change the aperture because you don't really want to be changing the shutter speed. You want to do basically twice your frame rate for the shutter speed. This is Phil with Bull City Pictures. Hope you enjoyed this side-by-side review / comparison of the Lumix LX10 and the Canon G7xii. G7xii is a widely popular vlogging camera for good reason. It's a very good camera, but the LX10, I've used it for vlogging before and I've been happy with it. And again, it does do 4K, and if you want 4K and that 1.4 aperture, then the Canon's not going to work out for you. If you're looking for probably a little bit better autofocus and that neutral density filter, which helps you to be able to change your aperture or get that aperture to a larger aperture, then the Canon would be for you. Phil with Bull City Pictures, thanks again for watching this video. We will see you again in the next one.